I want to make a case for home ownership. If you were looking for homes as a first-time buyer pre-COVID, you would have found a better inventory, much lower home prices, and you would have found incredibly low mortgage interest rates. And that's all changed. I get that. The cost of home ownership has gone up dramatically. But my concern is that if you're renting and you're considering just renting indefinitely, you may be missing the long-term benefits of home ownership. So let me break that down a bit. First of all, I don't think you should wait for mortgage rates to go down. I don't think they're going to go down much. Maybe they're in the 7% range now for a 30-year fixed mortgage. And they may go down a little bit. And if they do, okay, refinance. On the other hand, I don't think they're going back to the 3 or 4% range anytime during my lifetime. So waiting for that kind of incredibly spoiling mortgage rate is just not feasible. And what are the costs of continuing to rent? So let's say a year from now you can look back and you can say I had a place to live, but you can say all that rent money is gone. If you were a homeowner for a year, you could say I built a little bit of equity by paying down my mortgage, even though it's very small in the first few years. It's a start. And let's look at then some Fed data. This data I think is dramatic, and it talks about seniors, 65 years and older, and how they've done in terms of equity. So the average homeowner has generated a dramatic amount of equity. And I hope that when you're 65, you do much better than these averages. But on the other hand, I hope you're not on the other side of the chart as a renter, because it appears that renters have virtually no equity going into those retirement years. And so I want you to be on the good side. Let's look at interest rates a little bit further. I can tell you that during the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, interest rates for mortgages were in the teens, and they actually peaked at about 18%. So I'm a baby boomer. I experienced that, and my wife and I bought a house in that time frame. And I can tell you it really did work out. Even though it was a difficult thing to do, looking back, it was a good thing to do, and it really did work out. So if you know some baby boomers, you might ask them if they were involved with those interest rates and how they feel about it now looking back. I think you'll get an interesting answer. I've asked some others and they all say, yeah, it was tough, but it paid off in the long run. So finally, there's some other reasons why you might want to be a homeowner. And the sooner you get started, the better. There's some data here from renters, and it talks about their thinking towards the value of homeownership. And there were 3 categories. They felt that homeowners had less stress, had better safety, and lived in nicer homes. Actually, the survey was taken early in COVID and later in COVID. All of their opinions increased. COVID actually drove them to desire homeownership even more. So I will hope you take all of this into consideration. If you don't know what it might take to be a homeowner, first-time homeowner, let's talk. We don't have to go shopping right away. And second of all, if you know what it takes, but you're not ready, let's talk about that. There may be some plans and processes that we can start so that maybe in a year or 2 or less, you will be ready to get that first home. That's my hope for you. I hope you are prosperous in the long run, and I hope that you're safe and happy. Please, let's talk soon. Thank you for watching to the end, and go slay some dragons.